After 60, many men wake up one morning and notice something has quietly changed. Erections that once came naturally begin to disappear, and the confidence that once felt unshakable starts to slip away. For most, this decline feels inevitable. But is it really just age, or is there something more? In the next few minutes, I'll reveal why erections disappear after 60 and what you can actually do to fight back. This is not about magic pills or overnight fixes. It's about understanding the science of your body and how you can restore strength and circulation in ways most men overlook. Let's begin with the simple truth: an erection is not just about desire or intimacy. It's a health signal. Think of it as your body's barometer of circulation. If blood can reach down there quickly and firmly, it usually means your arteries, nerves, and hormones are still working in harmony. When erections fade, it's rarely only about age. It's the result of changes that affect the entire body, and that's what most men have never been told. The first major reason erections disappear after 60 is circulation decline. Blood vessels age just like skin and joints. Over time, small arteries lose flexibility. Plaque begins to form, slowing down blood flow. The heart has to pump harder, and the smallest arteries, like those that feed the penis, suffer first. That's why many cardiologists say erectile problems often appear years before heart problems are diagnosed. If you notice weaker erections, it's not just about intimacy. It's an early warning light on your dashboard that blood flow everywhere is slowing down. But circulation isn't only about arteries clogging. As men age, the body produces less nitric oxide, a natural chemical that signals blood vessels to relax. With less nitric oxide, arteries can't open as easily. Think of it as trying to water your garden with a hose that's half pinched. The water trickles, but it doesn't gush. That's what happens inside your body after 60. Even when desire is there, the mechanics don't respond the way they once did. The second reason erections disappear has to do with hormones, particularly testosterone. Testosterone levels peak in your 20s and 30s, but by 60 they can drop by as much as 30 to 40%. This doesn't just affect desire, it affects blood flow, muscle tone, even the strength of pelvic tissues that support erections. Lower testosterone also allows more fat to accumulate around the waist, and fat tissue converts testosterone into estrogen, which makes the problem worse. It's a cycle many men fall into without even realizing it. The third reason is nerve sensitivity. Over the years, diabetes, high blood pressure, or even long-term medications can dull the nerves that send signals of arousal from the brain to the body. When nerves don't fire with the same intensity, the response feels muted. You may still want intimacy, but the physical reaction is slower, weaker, or doesn't last. So those are the three big culprits: blood flow, hormones, and nerves. But here's the part most men don't hear enough. These are not permanent losses. They're changes, and changes can be slowed, even reversed, when you know what steps to take. I've seen men in their 70s who regained strength and confidence simply by addressing the root causes instead of just blaming age. Now let's talk about what you can actually do. The first step is to protect and reactivate circulation. Every erection begins with blood rushing into the arteries. If you want to restore strength, you must restore blood flow. That means daily habits, not occasional efforts. Walking even 20 minutes a day improves nitric oxide production and keeps arteries flexible. Strength training 2 to 3 times a week helps muscles draw more blood and improves overall vascular health. And don't overlook pelvic floor exercises. Simple movements like Kegels, tightening and releasing the muscles you'd use to stop urination, can strengthen the very foundation that holds blood in place during an erection. Diet also plays a massive role. Foods rich in antioxidants like berries, pomegranates, and leafy greens help clean up oxidative stress in blood vessels. Healthy fats, especially those from olive oil, avocados, and nuts, support hormone balance and reduce inflammation. Men who eat these regularly often report not only better energy but firmer erections, as circulation responds more efficiently. The second step is to support hormones naturally. While some men benefit from medical treatments like testosterone replacement, many can begin with lifestyle. Losing even 10 pounds can raise testosterone levels significantly. Sleep is another powerful tool. Studies show men who consistently sleep 7 to 8 hours per night have 15 to 20% higher testosterone than those who sleep less. Add in nutrients like zinc, vitamin D, and magnesium minerals most older men are deficient in, and the body often responds by producing more of its own natural testosterone. The third step is to retrain the nerves and keep them active. Just like muscles, nerves respond to use. That means safe self-practice and stimulation remain important even after 60. If you don't use the pathways, the signals weaken further. But practice must be adapted to age, avoiding excess friction, dryness, or prolonged strain that can inflame tissues. Think of it like stretching an old muscle done gently and consistently. It keeps you limber. Done recklessly, it causes injury. One of the biggest myths is that nothing can be done. That after 60 men must simply accept decline. That's not true. Research shows men who adopt circulation-focused habits, hormone support, and nerve protection can improve their erections, confidence, and even overall life expectancy. Remember, the body is always listening. Even small changes in what you eat, how you move, and how you rest send powerful messages. But here's something important. Fighting back against decline doesn't mean chasing youth. It means respecting the stage of life you're in and optimizing for it. You don't need to have the performance of a 25-year-old. You need consistent, reliable function that supports intimacy, confidence, and health. That's the real goal after 60. As we continue, I'll break down practical steps you can start today to reactivate blood flow, protect your hormones, and train your body to respond with strength again. Because losing erections after 60 is not the end of intimacy. It's a signal that it's time to fight smarter. And the fight is one you can win. Now that you understand the main reasons erections disappear after 60, let's turn to the daily actions that can help you fight back. Because the truth is, change doesn't happen in theory. It happens in the small choices you make every day. The first daily practice is circulation activation. Erections are a vascular event, and blood vessels respond best to movement. If you sit for most of the day, blood stagnates. Your arteries stiffen. That's why every man over 60 should have a movement routine. Walking briskly for 20 minutes after meals, climbing stairs instead of elevators, or cycling lightly 3 times a week, all of these keep your arteries flexible. You don't need to train like an athlete. What you need is consistency. Strength training is another powerful tool. When large muscle groups like the legs demand more oxygen, your arteries adapt. They widen, they pump harder, and circulation improves everywhere. Just 2 or 3 sessions a week of light resistance training can stimulate both testosterone and vascular health. You might be surprised how much better you feel when your muscles and blood vessels are both active. Diet reinforces this effect. Foods that support circulation like beets, spinach, pomegranates, and fatty fish deliver nitrates, antioxidants, and omega-3s that help arteries relax and clean themselves. On the other hand, processed sugar and excessive alcohol inflame vessels and blunt nitric oxide. So the question becomes simple. Are you feeding your blood flow, or are you feeding the blockages? The second practice is hormone protection. Testosterone decline is common, but it is not untouchable. Lifestyle has the power to slow it down and sometimes reverse the fall. Sleep is your strongest ally here. 7 to 8 hours a night stabilizes, cortisol boosts testosterone, and allows growth hormone to repair tissues. Men who sacrifice sleep for television or late-night habits are silently trading away their hormones. Weight control is equally important. Belly fat doesn't just sit there, it actively converts testosterone into estrogen, weakening male balance. Losing just 10 pounds around the waistline can lift testosterone levels and restore some of the energy you thought was gone. Combine this with foods rich in zinc, vitamin D, and magnesium, and your body has the raw materials to fuel hormone production naturally. Managing stress is the third piece. Chronic stress raises cortisol, and cortisol steals resources away from testosterone. That's why meditation, deep breathing, or even a daily walk in nature can feel so restoring. It's not just mental relief, it's hormonal repair. The calmer your mind, the stronger your testosterone, and the better your erections. The third practice is circulation maintenance through regular activity, even if you don't have a partner. This is where many men struggle because intimacy often decreases after 60. But the body still needs practice. Blood must still enter the tissues to keep them elastic. If you leave them unused, they stiffen and scar. Safe masturbation done moderately is not harmful. In fact, it can be protective. By stimulating blood flow, you prevent fibrosis and keep the chambers responsive. Research from Harvard showed that men with regular ejaculation had a lower risk of prostate problems, proving that the body benefits when circulation continues. This doesn't mean chasing numbers or overdoing it. It means consistency. Whether it's once a week or several times, what matters is that blood regularly nourishes the tissue. For men who don't feel desire, morning erections still serve as a natural test. If you wake with them, it means circulation is alive. If they vanish for long periods, it's a warning sign. In that case, it's time to review your sleep-stress diet and possibly consult a doctor to rule out underlying conditions. That brings us to the role of medical care. Many men hesitate to see a doctor because they fear being told it's just your age. But that's not good enough. Erectile problems often reflect cardiovascular disease, diabetes, or side effects of medication. If you manage those conditions, erections often improve too. Adjusting blood pressure medicine, controlling blood sugar, or improving cholesterol balance can all make a difference. Don't accept decline without asking questions. Another area that sparks debate is cholesterol. Some men believe cholesterol is unfairly blamed. The truth is more nuanced. Cholesterol itself is essential for hormone production, but when combined with inflammation and insulin resistance, it contributes to artery damage. That's why the goal is not zero cholesterol, but balanced cholesterol within healthy arteries. Focus on reducing sugar, processed fats, and stress rather than fearing every cholesterol number. All of this may sound like a lot, but the path forward can be simplified. Think of it as a daily routine. In the morning, walk outside for 10 minutes of movement and sunlight. At midday, eat a meal with lean protein, leafy greens, and healthy fats. In the afternoon, do 15 minutes of light strength training or stretching. In the evening, reduce screen time, breathe deeply, and prepare for quality sleep. And throughout the week, keep circulation alive, whether through intimacy or safe self-practice. When you string these habits together, the results build. Men who follow routines like this often notice more energy, better sleep, stronger desire, and yes, firmer erections. It's not magic. It's biology responding to care. I've seen men well into their 70s and 80s improve dramatically once they embraced these changes. Some regained intimacy with their partners after years of frustration. Others, even those living alone, found confidence and vitality return simply because they respected their body's needs. Remember this, your body is not broken. It just needs the right signals. Blood flow, hormones, nerves, they all respond when you act. So what should you take away from this? Erections disappearing after 60 are not simply a curse of aging. They are a message. A message that your circulation, hormones, or nerves need attention. And you have the tools to answer that message. Daily movement, hormone support, and circulation practice are not luxuries, they are lifelines. And there's one more thing many men still ask, perhaps the most common question of all. If masturbation is your main option after 60, is it safe? Can it protect your prostate, or can it quietly cause harm? How often is too often? These are questions I hear every week, and the answers may surprise you. That's why in the very next video I'll explain exactly how to masturbate safely after 60 and when it's time to seek medical help. Because knowing why erections disappear and how to fight back is powerful. But knowing how to keep circulation alive safely, that's the next step every man should take. Click here to watch Urologist explains how to masturbate safely after 60 and when to seek medical help.